Yo, what's good? What's good? So, thank you for joining us this. Wow, the work week is too much. This Thursday evening, I'm losing track of my days. This is pretty fucking crazy. Yeah, thanks for joining us on this Thursday evening. Now, this particular stream is the first in a new line of conversations I plan on having. Um, with the new brand. I am broadcasting this to the Men Like Us page as well, but this content won't primarily live on that page. So, this new brand I'm launching is called When They Hear Us. It is to amplify Black male voices and, insert ourselves in the conversations that, frankly, nobody's really asking to hear from us on because nobody really wants to hear from us, but we gonna talk, we gonna be heard, and we're gonna have conversations. So, all of this is about, conversation from a male's point of view. And the conversation today is just the first of many. There will be plenty of topics we'll be covering. It won't always be viral videos or happen, current stories or anything like that, current news. So obviously today we are talking about the McDonald's video, the response that the baby mama posted today, and new revelations learned today as well. So with that, I'm gonna bring on some of my homies. First and foremost, I'm gonna bring up my main man J Dub. What's going on, brother?
What it do? Blessings of good times.
J Dub is, a Black father of two. Me and him been homies for about almost 20 years now.
Right.
Yeah.
So where did the time go?
Where did it go? Yes, sir. So but we're gonna get down into this. We got one more guest to bring in, and maybe another one joining us. I don't know if he's gonna be able to get into the show or not. But yeah, anywho, my main man Dion, what's up, bro?
Peace. What's happening, family?
What it do?
Yeah, so Dion's a homie from high school. It's been a minute, but it's a man I got a lot of
Man,
respect
back in the
for.
day.
Yeah,
What's up, man?
yeah.
Appreciate it. It's always love. We go back like throwbacks and wave cats. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you bringing me onto your platform, man, and let me do what I do.
That's what's up. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So, fellas, let's get into it because this thing is something else. I know we have all had something to say about it on social media, but we just gonna jump right in it. And for those of y'all that are watching that don't know what we talk about, don't know what this video is, there's a video that went viral earlier this week, maybe late last week as well. And it was just it was baby mama drama. And that's really how it was framed. It was a baby mother who was upset at her baby daddy for bringing food for just one of the kids. And she believes that he should have brought food for all the kids or bring food for none of the kids at all. So we're going to watch this video and we're going to watch it all the way through. And then we're going to talk about it. And if y'all in the comments, you got something to say, by all means, drop something in the comments and your voices will be heard. So give me 1 second to bring this thing up.
Every fucking day, my baby daddy come here with one fucking meal for my child. But I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids at McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there he go, and I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he don't even. I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
What about your other kids?
Okay, but them your kids' siblings though.
What are you talking about? What are you mad
Them
about?
my kids, them your kids' siblings though.
So what you?
So my other kids finna be left out.
You didn't feed them?
You know I don't get my food stamps to the 7th.
Lisa, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out, though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help him. I'm trying to help my son.
How are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Lisa, you had
Them are his siblings,
Lisa,
though.
you had the
He not finna eat in front of all his other siblings, and they're not eating on McDonald's. No, why do I gotta put?
Bring him out to the car. I'll let him eat
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I gotta bring my son food? I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound f***ing dumb.
How is that shit dumb? You
That's
sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other. You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all. How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's?
So
you know I get food stamps on the 11th.
That ain't 3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine. What
Yeah,
do I look like? I bring
they're
him-
his
I
siblings.
bring him
You
food.
knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, the f- I did.
Yes, you did.
Man, you expect me to take care of all the kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids.
Why are you recording me? First of all,
Because I'm exposing you. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy.
I am a good daddy.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this bullshit. You only come here with one fucking piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all then. He can't take that shit.
So listen what
He
you
can't
said.
eat it.
Maybe if you had 1 or 2, I can maybe. You got it's 3 extra kids. What the f? You all like going to my motherfucking account, spending money on all those kids. Them not my kids.
Them are your kids' siblings though. Dumb.
So that's what you gonna go with? That's the one you gonna
Those
go
are your fucking kids' siblings.
They're my so that means I
Yeah.
take care of them.
So don't.
where's
No,
the-
I didn't say you have to take care of them. You can bring them something to eat if you bring one something to eat.
I bring them food every other day. What do you mean?
Exactly, but you don't never bring food for the other ones. You know I get my food stamps on the 11th.
Your babies.
Okay, but I'm saying we share the same kid as well.
Absolutely. So if you want to, if you feel the way about him eating, take him in the room and let him.
I'm not taking my kid in the
Send him down
room.
to the car. He ain't got to eat in front of his brothers and sisters. He can come right out to the car and eat with me.
No. You know what? Fine. Give it here.
Thank you.
Give it here.
Bro,
Give it here.
Kids,
Give it here.
You sound stupid.
Done. You ain't eating this. Fuck you.
Why the f you just do that?
Because you ain't bringing up for all the other kids. You stupid. Selfish as a like you're dumb as hell. You're dumb as hell. He not finna eat that shit. Dumb.
Take care of him anyway.
Dumb. He not finna do that. If you can't do it for all, don't do it for none of them. Bye, stupid.
Bro. I know you gotta introduce it, man. I definitely had a visceral reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I knew that she was gonna toss. I knew she was gonna toss it. As soon as she said, "Give me here," I thought to myself, "Bruh, don't do it."
Man. And I was like, man, when she threw it, immediately I'm just like, okay, that's not the right answer, but that's what I felt inside. And I applaud the homie for not losing his cool.
Yeah.
And now it's staged and stuff, so it's just supposed to be funny. But if a girl really did that, then you see why they not together. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, man, it was in this, I recognize the dude voice when I saw it, so I knew it was satirical. But I like the fact that it brings up these issues that we all have been through in baby daddy, baby mama culture, or that we all know someone that has been through. I've been through it personally. I know lots of brothers that have been through it personally. And if you haven't been through it personally, you know a brother that has. And it does bring up, really good points, that we actually have these issues within this baby mama, baby daddy culture that we have unfortunately made the norm.
Well, I think, something my girlfriend and I talk about quite a bit is, we always converse about the chasm between Black men and Black women. And, this situation, when it went viral, it showed it to me because I saw a whole lot of men saying, what's the issue? He taking care of his responsibility. That's his responsibility.
Yeah.
And I literally saw women on Facebook saying, "What's wrong with y'all, man? Who raised y'all? He should be buying food for everybody." And like these are people that they're serious when they say this, and these are not immature, idiots. Like some of these people have actually proved themselves to be, clear-minded at times on quite a few subjects, but the difference in the way that some men and some women saw it was really something else. And it was really like the men are like, we don't see the issue. And the women was like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you? And that's why
there was a divide. Yeah, there seemed to be a divide. It seemed like a real big gender divide. And that kind of goes to show the different views that we share, the way that we're wired differently as men and women, the way that we're wired to think as men and women. It's very different because ultimately you are seeing, as you said, most of the women are saying like, hey man, now I saw a lot of sisters, don't get me wrong, I saw a lot of sisters that was like, hey, they ain't his kids, he ain't got to do nothing for them kids. I saw a few of them that was like that. But it seemed like for the most part, most of the women were geared toward, hey man, come on, why y'all ain't feeding them babies? So there was definitely a divide there.
Yeah, I just felt like when I saw it, I went, okay. So she really already insufferable. She trying to publicly embarrass the man, and he the one doing his part. And then she threw the food, which I'm sorry, that probably would have been. Are you looking? Like, I'm sorry. But when I get past like my angst, because that would have sent me over the moon. I go, okay. Now the homie, I can only empathize with the homie because I've seen that where like a guy has a girl who has multiple baby fathers, and he like, man, so the girl is crazy. I can't deal with her, but I made this permanent decision, and I'd rather not deal with her. Period. That's why he like, I just come through, drop this food off for my kid, and go. And then it's just like, imagine that this homie, the two of the kids that she had outside of this kid, she cheated on him to make one of the other two or something like that, or newer relationships make them other kids, and he's supposed to be responsible for them too, and the lady when they're not together.
The mythology,
right?
According to her, because she did have a follow-up video, she did try to explain the situation and add more context, which was it didn't really change anything for me, but she was saying that he used to buy for all the kids. His son is the youngest of all 4 kids, and he used to buy for everybody, and now he don't because they're not together no more. And I'm like,
the kids not together.
Yeah, like I don't understand this.
That's where I have to interject. And I made a status about this, maybe a day after this went viral. And this is where I want to hold men accountable. This is where I want all this. I want all the men watching this. This is where we have to hold ourselves accountable because there's a hierarchy, all right, in this situation. You see, baby daddy number 1 and baby daddy number 2, they're held at completely different standards than baby daddy number 3 and baby daddy number 4. See, baby daddy number 1, he came first. So if he planted seed there, that fertile soil that he planted seed in, it had not been cultivated by anyone else. It had not have been stepped on and plowed by anyone else. He planted seed there initially. He was the first one to come along. So because he was the first, he don't have no responsibility to whatever she did afterwards. Whatever decision she decided to make afterwards, that has nothing to do with him. Whatever other beings she decided to be vessels for into this world after him, that don't have nothing to do with that man. He might have made a mistake in his youth, got pregnant, got the wrong girl pregnant, or maybe they was together and they was young. People grow, people change, and then boom. Now he has no obligation to do nada. He don't got to do nothing. Matter of fact, baby daddy number 1, if you going over there and dropping off food to your son, and your son was there before everybody else, and she expecting you to feed everybody else, guess what? You better head right on down to 9th and State Street, going right into that courthouse, and going right there and get the file of them papers. Because you have if that shows that she is completely inept, and she's unable to take care of your seed. So you now have a responsibility as a man to make sure that your child is not in an environment where apparently he cannot eat. Because if you feed him, his siblings will get jealous. And if you don't feed him, his mama can't feed everybody else. So you need to go down there and get that child. Baby daddy number 1 and 2, that's their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Now, baby daddy number 3, oh, she had 2 kids with 2 different men before you came in. What did you expect? What was you thinking about? You knew what it was. Baby daddy number 4, you knew good and well you had to walk over Power Wheels and Legos and Power Rangers and slime in order to get to that cooter. You knew good and well she had to put them babies to sleep before you could dig on in. You knew good and well what you were signing up for. So you need to go ahead and download that McDonald's app. You need to go ahead and rack up them points, player,
Oh,
because
damn.
because you got a responsibility, man. Because you was coming in there and sneaking and going ahead and getting a piece of that cookie when all them kids was asleep. You knew them babies was in there. So it's a hierarchy. It's a hierarchy, and
You're right.
certain people gotta be held responsible, and certain people get away with it. That's just how it is. You know, it's a very circumstantial
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
And that the accountability side
It's
of it
tough, man.
is
That's
right
tough.
on, man.
I say I hear you and I see the logic in it, but I just go, okay, if you're gonna put pressure on me for bringing my kid food, where these other daddies at? You know what I'm saying?
That's what he asked.
And she ain't have no answer for that. Oh, you know, I don't get my food stamps to the 7th. When does that become my problem? He said that. And you go, yeah, when is it his problem? Because he handling his responsibility, like the courts is going to harass him for that kid, not the mother Miles. Now, when they was together, he was doing his part. Everybody gets some chicken nuggets. Everybody getting something from McDonald's. But when you put him out unceremoniously, whether or not he had a job or not, he pulled up in the whip, so he had a whip, and she's still letting him hit. So she's still kind of sweet on the homie because he do handle his shit because the other ones don't. So we definitely can put together that, okay, you trying to create a harem of men where you could choose and decide which flavor of the day you want. That's what it feel like to me. And you're using the kids as collateral, which then this is the nice guy. This is the one that's got the money, that's trying, that's putting in the effort, and you're going to go harder on him to bully him into being there for all the other kids. And then ain't giving them none, going to embarrass them, going to put them out there on blast, all this other stuff. And then, I mean, like, no, man, no. You got to cut your
I
loss.
dig that.
You know?
I also understand that, you know, once again, from the perspective of you was daddy until y'all broke up. Now you don't want to play daddy no more. Why? But it was cool to play daddy when you was going in and sneak a piece of that cooter when the babies was asleep. It was cool to play daddy then. And it's cool to come and play daddy when you want to come sneak a piece of cooter now, because she said that he was coming and sneaking and hitting every now and then. So it's cool when you want to play daddy when you knew them 4 babies was in there while you was going ahead and stepping over Legos and Power Rangers and Power Wheels and Fortnite toys and all that. You was willing to do all that. But now that you a kid, now that y'all not together no more, and you still want to sneak a piece of that cooter, you want to only bring 1 Happy Meal. I'm gonna hold you accountable for that. Because we got to be better. We got to be better men than that. Because guess what? If you was willing to do all that to go on and sneak a piece of that pie, you should be willing to do all that when it's time to feed them babies. That's just being a man. That's just being 100 with yourself. You got to be 100 with yourself. You can't go out the way for the cooter and then not want to do it when the cooter unavailable. You can't do that.
Because personally, I know me, I couldn't in my right heart know that, okay, I'm finna send this kid in his house with all these other hungry kids and not put in. But at the same time, if I know that this girl done did a whole bunch of stuff, like she already trying to embarrass him on the phone, and everybody want to think he's such a good daddy, trying to show and embarrass him, trying to demerit him and make him lesser of somebody. So like other girls like, hey, ain't you the viral dude? Oh, no, you good. To isolate him and force him into this bad situation.
Now, hold on, bro.
When I see that,
you think they would stop at that? Man. You think that would really stop women? Be like, I ain't gonna give you. And now, for the people who don't know, this video was recorded in Milwaukee. All 3 of us here know what Milwaukee is about.
Oh yeah,
we know damn well a man being known for being unscrupulous, undisciplined, bad juju, still getting laid in Milwaukee.
Now, I'm just saying, look at the quality of the woman, though. You know what I'm saying? This is a bottom dweller in this situation. She's got these other children with these other men. When you see the retort video, she got her nails done. Them things cost at least $60. Them eyelashes cost at least 10. At least. Them eyebrows are done. Those is at least 15. And then she got her hair done.
She got the
Now,
microblade. She got the microblade. They
you know what
gonna
I'm saying?
they gonna whack for about 35, 55, 75,
Right.
something like that. She got it. Yeah, she gotta have something for sure.
So you're
Now,
saying, okay, well,
fellas,
you got your kids' McDonald's on your fingertips. Now I gotta take care of them because you did it. You got next week's Burger King on your eyebrows. I gotta take care of them. Hell no. And that, man, so I would have had to come up in there, get my kid. We finna go get something to eat. This woman makes terrible decisions. We finna eat, son. I'm gonna send you back with a full belly. Man, did you eat? I'm hungry. Yeah, you know what? This ain't you ain't eat with me. Say you good. You don't feel good or something. 'Cause you go up in there with her, she doing irrational things. She like Kanye said, she's supposed to buy your kids Tyco with your money. Went to the doctor, looked like Michael
Got
with your
Lyco
money.
with your money.
yeah.
Now you can see this is happening to the homie in this situation. We just give it up. You just pray for mercy on that man's soul, because that's a bad situation, and he got to roll with that for 18 years, for however old the kid
Oh
is.
God.
You know,
But you
But
see
you
now
know what
another
though?
thing.
Well, hold on. That's like really it's on him. Like dick discipline is a real life tool. And
man.
these young men don't have discipline with their dick. They nutting in whatever woman they want to nut in. That's on you, bro. And you nutted in a girl who was fertile, already had 3 kids. You gave her number 4. Why are you not strapping up, bro? Like that's the man's side of it. Like strap up. You know, this is
we
not a good
talking like
situation.
But we fellas though, you know that when that thing get hard, the blood go from up here
We gotta
down there.
stop that. We gotta stop that, bro. We gotta stop that. Because that's what gets you in a situation where you gotta buy
There's some
4 Happy Meals.
situations, there's some ones we go,
But you
snap.
gotta,
Good thing I dodged the bullet on that. We all done had that one, man.
of course, but you still gotta wrap it up, man. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
I'm not saying go get a
definitely-
vasectomy. I'm not saying take the male version of the pill. I'm just saying wrap it up, fellas. Just wrap it
No
up.
doubt. No
And
doubt.
that's a good point, because
In that
when
situation, we don't know what they love was really like. You know, maybe he really thought he was gonna stand in the pocket and be there, and then she showed herself to be something she wasn't. You know.
But look, I talk to young brothers about this all the time. When I speak to young brothers and I counsel young brothers and I mentor young brothers, I tell them all the time. I said, listen, as a man and as a young man, you have to value your seed. You have to value your seed. You have to value your seed. You have to value your seed, because ultimately, as we get older, our stock generally tends to increase. We generally tend to acquire more assets. We acquire more wealth. We even get more handsome because our beards grow. We might get a little dad bod a little bit later on in life, but guess what? As an older man, you're gonna attract more women than you did when you was young and horny and living with your mama. You're gonna have your own car. You're gonna have your own crib. You're gonna have your own stuff, and ultimately, your stock is going to generally tend to increase as you get older, as opposed to when you're younger and you trying to put your Johnson in everything you find attractive. All you're gonna do is decrease your value by creating all these babies with all these different women all across the board. And then when you get older, it ain't doing nothing but breaking you. The only thing you have to do is learn how to value your seed as a man. This young brother right here, what I would encourage any brother to do that's in that situation is, if you are in a situation where your child is with a mama that apparently cannot feed them without state assistance or without a man dropping them off some food, your child needs to be with you. You need to go ahead down to the courthouse. You have rights as a father. Go ahead and exercise some of them rights and make sure that that baby is with you some of the time instead of dropping that baby off McDonald's. Going back to valuing your seed, that's part of what that does. You are going to value your seed and invest in your future by not destroying it by sticking your Johnson and everything with a big booty.
Man, you just don't know, man. You try your best to make a good decision, but I just tell the homie, because that definitely turned into a lifetime, man. But I would just tell him, like, man, like in that situation, he played it good by just being like, all right, I'm getting in the whip. But now this is where girls are turning around and call him a deadbeat for being like, well, then if that's how you finna be when I'm trying to handle business, then I'm just not gonna handle business. I see you. All right, I can write a check. Here, don't talk to me. And then there's just another deadbeat daddy. You
That
know,
happens all the time. That happens all the
man.
time. And they have to be held accountable too. I don't want the women to think that I'm gonna let them slide. Ladies, I know a lot of y'all see what I'm saying, and y'all be like, yeah, go ahead, feed them babies. What I'm saying is that as a man, you had a decision, and the first two baby daddies are held to completely different standards than the last two baby daddies. Because it's four of y'all all together. It's four of y'all together. Now y'all could be working together like Pac and Tone Loc was in Poetic Justice, how they worked together and whooped that one dude that both of their baby mamas was messing with. Y'all could be working together to do that. You see what I'm saying? To get them kids. So we have to think smarter as men. I'm not letting her off the hook. She should know better than to popping out all them kids with all them dang different daddies. She should know better. But y'all should have knew better before you ran up in her. It takes two to tango, brother. It ain't just on her. It takes two to tango. And
No
if you
doubt.
ran
No
up in
doubt.
her and you was willing to cross over all them Megazords and the Power Zords and all them other things to get to that thing, you better go ahead and buy them Happy Meals, brother. Quit playing.
Man, man, it's tough, man.
Absolutely.
It's tough. It's a situation where you go, what am I responsible for? Because a woman will whoop you to what you have to handle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever been in a bad relationship where, y'all start getting short with each other? It's really just about whatever y'all got to do, and y'all stop, you know what I'm saying? And then it becomes like that, and then that hard line shows up in your relationship. And it started out with love. It started out with lust, at least. You know what I'm saying? And then there's a person that gave you her body. Y'all spent time with each other. Now y'all at odds like this. And then he's the worst of whatever man could be, and she's the worst of whatever woman could be. And when everybody on the outside looking in, they go, oh, they're just trash anyway. They're doing trash things. But we go, in our culture, there's a lot of us that go, well, we don't want to forsake the mother of all them kids because she's a mother of all them kids. But when you got a guy like Kevin Samuels who says, well, damn, you got 3 kids. You better take whatever man will take you. And then this man tried to take her. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
He tried. He definitely probably stood in the back like, yo, I'm going to be here. I'm going to take care of you. And then he like, okay, this bitch half-past crazy. I can't do nothing with her. I got to get up out of here.
Come on now. Come on now, man.
I mean,
But
come
we
on,
but we knew, okay, so if that was the case, it was 3 of them that ran off before you. When
man.
does the accountability come into play? When do you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I think it's a common denominator here. Baby daddy number 1 left. Baby daddy number 2 split. Baby daddy number 3 ran out of here like Jesse Owens. So where is it that I think that I'm going to be the exception and come along and magically romance her off her feet and she just going to be uncrazy? I'm just going to uncrazy her. We think this line of thought is ruled by what I call poor penis management. Poor penis management is ultimately the conditioning in which your penis is dictating your decision, and your decision usually leads to you trying to stick said penis in a coochie that ain't nothing good gonna result from. It might feel good for about 20 minutes. It might feel good for about 10 minutes. Some of y'all, it might feel good for about 30 seconds. But either way it goes,
Preach.
the end result ain't gonna feel good because you gonna be buying 4 Happy Meals or going viral, and we niggas like us talking about you. So we have to think to ourselves. We have to think to ourselves. This body that I'm about to give my phallus to. Is it worth it? It's a woman, and I know this is a lot of thoughts to have a hard dick and really be trying to analyze, but we have to get used to this. You have to train yourself. Is this woman, after we make child, after I plant seed, is this woman intelligent? Is this woman capable? Is this woman nurturing? Is this woman clean? Does this woman cook? Does this woman have motherly instincts? These are things we should be thinking about before we try to run off in everything we find pretty. And I know it's hard because we men, and we use that excuse all the time. We say, man, we men. Man. You see old girl with the fat ass, I'm a man. You see old girl with them big titties, I'm a man. I gotta give in to my primal animalistic urge to want to stick my phallus in her. We can't keep doing that in 2022. They done turned over Roe v. Wade, all types of shit. You be in the child support office for hours, for days.
Man,
if you mess around with that.
You be the new Nick Cannon, really.
Yeah,
For
and
shit like
that's
that,
another
man.
brother. He got to stop himself. Everybody think that and I hate to jump topics, but that's another brother. He needs to stop himself because even
Why?
though he has the money, I can tell you as a father, there is no way that this man is going to be able to distribute his time between all of them children.
Fair
He
enough.
playing them children out of his time, out of his the best ability for a
Hmm.
father is availability, and he's
Hmm.
Yeah.
playing himself out of all them. He's cheating them babies out of their time with him. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I grew up fatherless. Chris, I know you lost your father at a young age, just like me.
Yep.
We know what that's like. And imagine what it's like for a kid who daddy is still here, but she can't spend time with him because he got 97 other brothers and sisters, and daddy got to film TV shows and all types of other stuff. He robbing them children of his time. So that's another
Hmm.
brother that really need to chill with that.
I
Fair
agree
enough.
in one sense, but I say Nick Cannon is a different outlier situation because he's a franchise. He can set up a whole school district, tutoring, all sorts of stuff. He got different types of money to where his investment in his children, he can definitely still make them. Whereas he's not an everyman that's like, I got to balance this checkbook correctly, 1,000%. Otherwise,
Hmm.
we finna miss out on some things for real this month. Like, I just say
He,
I feel
he can
as
buy
how she
McDonald's. He can
wants.
afford the McDonald's.
Right,
Yeah.
He can
right.
Right.
afford
He
the
can definitely
McDonald's.
afford the McDonald's. Matter of fact, he got a whole private chef at the crib.
we gonna really have McDonald's at the house. We ain't got to
Right,
go there.
right.
We
Right.
be here.
Oh, speaking of which, he got a McDonald's in the back on the hibachi grill
Right.
that they use.
It ain't gonna be the
Man.
kind with the bell peppers in it. It's gonna be a real McDonald's with 12 employees back there.
But you
And the
know
shake
what,
machine gonna be working.
Dion? Dion, something that you hit on is, so we'll come back to later, in these conversations as we keep having them. But what you're talking about is really evolving masculinity, maturing masculinity, because we
Absolutely.
all start out at the base level of I'm validating my masculinity by fucking all these women. I'm a real man
Absolutely.
because my manhood is tied to how many women I fuck.
Man,
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
that's
I
where we
hear you.
start, and we grow to be like, hey man, you really shouldn't. Yo, that ain't. You're not disciplined. A real man is disciplined. A real man don't do all that. Like, we're not saying don't have sex, and we ain't trying to be the anti. Can't call everybody toxic, but it's just it's growth, and it's just like But I understand those young men approach it like that. I understand that's the first level. That's the Charmander. That's the first level of evolution before they grow up and be like, oh, dang, maybe I shouldn't be slinging this junk everywhere. Maybe I should be putting some more time into work. Maybe I should be trying to build something. Like,
Yeah. I
maybe
mean,
my ego shouldn't be tied to how many women I have sex with.
right, but we don't have that information about that particular situation.
Yeah.
We're kind of generalization, like we're throwing a big generalization on a lot of homies. Now, I'll say this: how do we know? Because this girl with that same mouth that she was sitting here, really talking him down and going crazy. Well, imagine when that mouth is speaking life into the homie. Hey, you a sweet, you my king. Oh my God, look, I know I got 2 kids by this one. He died. He got shot up in this. He was here, but he left because and she give a good explanation of why. And then the homie like, damn, that's a tough ride, man. But you know what? I'm on the rise. I got my thing here. I think I can take care of you. I think I have enough of
Oh,
it to love
that's how
and
they
we
get
don't.
you.
And then especially after she put it on you, because she ain't no rookie. She only
Right.
got 300 dudes worth of practice, getting you situationally involved with her, and then you get caught. Now you in the trap. Now you in the whole parent trap and the whole money trap with the whole just giving over that loop to that, and you like, man, this was a brother that you could tell is trying to help. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because I always go, there is that machismo that we use amongst our brothers where we like, yeah, man. Yeah, you remember that girl? Yeah, I caught up with her. We had fun. It was cool. But then you got the other side where it's like, that's what he told you. But then what's really happening when he pillow talking with the girl is she done told him everything he wanted to hear. They really trying to do something. Maybe it was working for a second. Then she cheated, or maybe he cheated, or whatever the case may be, it blew up. And then you
Mm-hmm.
left with a girl that's angry at you. Maybe she still want to be with you because in her retort video, she was saying, yeah, sometimes I still let him hit. So she still let him.
And he was still, but that's my fancy. He was still going to get a piece of that pie. He ain't mind going to get a piece of that pie. But if you ain't gonna get a piece, if you gonna go get a piece of that pie, bring back some apple pies.
Man,
he made bring back some apple pies.
No, that needs to be a requirement of him getting it. If he doesn't get the McDonald's, then he doesn't get the pie. You're giving it away for free. He ain't got to do shit else. You name women, you name your price. Whatever price you name, men will pay it.
Hey, say you name your price. Name your price.
Yes. If your price is you got to buy food for all the kids or else you don't get any pie, then fair enough. He gonna get that.
Yeah, that's what it was, and that's what she was doing, was naming her price. See what I'm saying? Yeah. At that moment, she was naming her price. Like, look, fam, you ain't gonna keep creeping through my window, and then thinking that you gonna come in and not bring nobody no McDonald's but yours. So that's where it comes in. She was kind of naming her price a little bit, and dude didn't like the price got a little too steep. But it wasn't too steep when they was together. It wasn't too steep when he was baby daddy number 4 and boyfriend number 1. So you gotta pay the cost to be the boss, fam. That bill's on you, player. That bill's on you.
Boss no more. He's just a nigga that slide through. He ain't the king of the castle. Man. That ain't his castle. He vacated that shit. Man. He vacated the castle. That ain't his castle no more. So when you lose the man, you lose everything that come with him. Now, if you're married, you still got rights. You still get things after the fact. But, this whole boyfriend, girlfriend, carry before you marry BS that everybody want to do, it's just resulting in a lot of bitterness, disappointment, and wasted years. Because you literally wasted years with somebody. You built up nothing. You got nothing out of it. You had no rights. Because, I hear, what was that? I was listening. It wasn't Kevin. It was I was listening to some other show where a girl called in. She was like, yeah, well, I'm helping this dude. And, I was mad because I helped him build up his business. We was together for 5 years. He built up his business. And then it was like, I got nothing out of it. And it was like, well, you would have if you married the nigga. Why? But that's a whole other thing, man. But that's
a lack of accountability. But that's a lack of accountability on the other side. Yeah. We all know it's difficult. And I don't want to go too off on the leg because I like to talk to my fellas, because getting a woman to be accountable is a difficult task. All right, we all know they sit around and they have jokes about how you can look online right now and it's memes and jokes. They joke about how they get us to apologize even though they be wrong. They joke about how, if we in a argument or disagreement and the man start to make sense, they got different tactics and different escape methods and different defense strategies and different reflections that they can use to stop themselves from taking accountability. We know this to be true. So it's hard to get them to take accountability. But we want to talk to the men.
One of them is that deflection thing where they're like, Tracy, you made one mistake on one little thing you said, and I'm going to hyper focus on that. And then I'm going to argue and get loud on that one little piece that you messed up. Okay, so all right, it wasn't 7:30, it was 6:30. But you making a big ass deal out of this 6:30 like you wasn't over here doing what you were doing.
You was an hour off, and that's the point of the argument. Or how about when you raise a legitimate point against them, and they get mad at you for having feelings? They do something to upset you, and then you say, "Hey, baby, that was wrong. You should have did me like that. I felt some type of way about that." And they get mad at you for being mad at them for doing some shit that they did to you. Now you apologizing for some shit they did to you. That's the ultimate Jedi mind trick.
Yeah, that's gaslighting. That's gaslighting all day. But fellas, before we like Deion said, before we go too far left on that one, because I know we can us men can on that, but we don't need to. So, but what I really want to get to, fellas, is the fact that this whole video thing, and let me bring it back up because it's been like 40 minutes. I'm gonna just mute the video. But this whole video is pretty much, it's all fake. It was all sketch, I don't know, it was comedy, whatever. But the woman, too much coke. The woman who made this video.
Coca-Cola. Make sure you say Coca-Cola. Yeah. Wrong person get on this scene. They like, what kind of videos they making?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the woman who made the video, she's a content creator. She's a content creator. This was all really faked. It was made for likes, shares, all that stuff. But I think, Dion, you and I, we briefly talked about this before we went live. I think and like Denai says, it was for clout. This whole thing was for clout. Oh wait, what did Trey say? I think that accountability is not a virtue these days, regardless of gender. Fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, we ain't doing that. We not doing that here, fellas. We just go keep moving. No, well, because it is true. It is a lot of undisciplined men who lack accountability that make themselves low level as fuck, but them be the main ones out here, being fourth daddies, really.
I
have a theory on that.
If we look at this circumstance, he was being accountable. He said, "Okay, I made kids with you. I gotta feed my kid. One thing as a man, I gotta feed my seed." He went out there to do it, and she like, "Well, I got these other kids." He like, "Those ain't my kids, though. I didn't make them kids.
You got those other kids.
Right?
You go feed them motherfuckers."
Man.
And that's one thing that they said was because she was like, "Well, my food stamps don't come to the 12th or the 7th, whatever." And everybody was like, "Yeah, she sold them shits. She sold them food stamps." So I forgot. Shout out to L. L said that in the comments, like, yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, I done bought food stamps at the Aldi now. Like, I done been there. Hey man, I got some food stamps. Whatever you want, I'll give 50. Just give me $50 for 100. Like, all right,
right. I mean, you gotta get what you can get. You gotta do what you can do sometimes.
If you got food stamps for sale, holla at your boy. I will buy that shit. I don't care.
Get that inbox. American Express. American Express. Got the American Express card.
Exactly. But what we were getting to is that this thing was all fake. It was fake. Yeah. The video was fake. Her response was fake. She was doing a character. The character's name is Lisa.
Okay.
And, so we know that this whole thing was not a real situation. There are no real kids sitting there hungry right now. And, thank goodness she didn't hurt his car or anything like this for a skit. But what I find interesting is the fact that despite this being fake, this fake piece of content generated so much controversy, so much conversation in the Black community. Men, women, everybody just going nuts over it. Because in my opinion, this was a piece of content. This was a situation that felt so real. Something that we can identify with. Like you said earlier, Dion, where it was just like, Black men, if you haven't gone through this, somebody who's dealing with a woman just like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I know women was resonating with it as well from the other side of it, which is why, I was talking about, some of the women were like, what's wrong with you? I'm sorry, this one girl, and she's actually pretty cool. But, she kind of went off on, she's like, who raised you, men? What's wrong with y'all? Why would y'all not buy food for all the kids? Like, that's rude, and that's this, and he should buy food for all the kids, period, not just his. And, really was upset, attacking, disappointed with Black men because we saw it a different way. We saw it in terms of this is our, responsibility is to Junior.
Right.
Junior gets all the blessings of me as his father. All the blessings of the father go down to Junior, and them kids got to get the blessings from their father. And if they don't get it, I got to worry about mine.
Right.
That's how we thinking about it. And the women's like, you need to buy for everybody. And I don't understand why you wouldn't even think that's so like. That isn't all women. It's a diverse group of thoughts here. Like, some of the women in the comments here.
We just have to look at it and go, well, when you see that situation, you go, he's doing his part. And when he was with her, the kids was getting fed. And when she decided to discard the man, because, all right, he's too square. He want me to do this. He want me to act like this. I'm so used to being like this. Let me cut him loose. Now he cut loose, but you still want him to still keep the same energy as if y'all were together. And then that leads me to want to ask, what do y'all think about having a harem? Like having multiple women and having your own kingdom, like in the Middle East.
Bro, what?
Yeah, because
Man,
I'm like, imagine a
that
dude because
whole
that's what it
thing.
looks like. She's made out of the men. That's what I'm saying.
Man, listen, brothers be wanting that. Brothers be wanting that. And can't even take care of one girl. You can't even handle. Listen, you can't even handle one cycle in a damn house. How you gonna handle 6, 7, 12 of them at the same? Boy, you ever been in that house? Let me tell you something. I got daughters, and when me and their mama was together, and it was three of them in the house on their cycle at the same damn time, and just me before my son was born. All that energy versus one man. Boy, I tell you, it's enough to make your head spin. A lot of men ain't ready for that. Let alone be ready for. No, that is a fantasy, brother. That's a fantasy that a lot of men have because
It's
what it is
successful in other parts of the
every
world,
man
though.
got a
Polygamy is
every man
successful.
had a fantasy. No, but every man in America that had a fantasy about having more than one woman at the same time. We all have
And
had
Mitt
it, and
Romney,
many
he
of
in
us
one
have
of them
stuck.
Mormons where they got a whole bunch of kids like that. You know, in Utah, they got them big old resorts, well, them big old compounds filled with families that's under one name. You know,
Yeah, well, you know,
And they
there.
be heavily religious too. Why they be needing the blessings of God to get through it. That's why they so deep in that. They be needing the grace of God can only get them through that.
now,
I'm telling you
now I
now.
think like that's definitely a lot of different religion involved and everything. But when
Mhm.
I look at the Mormons, how they able to get into polygamy, when I think of different levels of Muslims and things like that, folks, Indians that are doing it, and I go, this is something that's a part of, I think, the lineage of people. Like we come from a tribal people, you know,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
it used to be a village of people that would take care of all these children, where it wasn't
Yep.
settled on a one woman and all that. And I go, maybe it's our roots, maybe it's that
But
innate
bro,
nature thing that's in us that wants us to fall back to it, but the society we currently employ to live to run our morality doesn't allow for it. It's illegal here, but somewhere else it's not. And maybe
well, no, I'm
I'm
sorry.
just throwing out alternatives. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to. I'm like, in another world, where could this have been successful for them? So we can start to think like, okay, how can we make it better? How can we make this
Right.
I
situation better?
mean,
Because we do know some people in that situation, and we don't want to sit here and bash all women because we know people are susceptible to making terrible mistakes, especially when the love below calls. Homies be selling a very fake ass product sometimes, and they can't handle the things that they talking about. They can handle, and these women, they definitely create some hoe traps for men, for good men, get them caught up, and they be stuck
They do.
paying them for 18 plus years, taking care of their responsibilities, and because of their good nature, they get taken advantage of. Like this guy, I'd say this guy is a guy that's getting taken advantage of by a woman that already knows the game of how to move around amongst men. You know,
Yeah.
if if we
well,
looking
that's
at
I
that
think that's
situation.
institutionalization. I think some women are institutionalized into abusing the system in that way, in terms of, understanding the systems on my side, I can gain men out of it anyways. And it takes
Mhm.
a very savvy man to really fight for and get his rights. But to what you were saying, you were talking about, you were proposing the polygamy idea for, it takes a village to raise a family. Well, but bro, it was only one generation ago villages were raising families. It was a village with our parents. It was a village with our parents.
Well, yeah. You
Everybody
know
could give
everybody
you
on
a
the block.
whooping.
Yep.
All the family kids and each other, and you could go over to somebody else's house and she gonna feed you over there. Cause yeah, I just got done playing with all my friends, and we all here now at their house, and she feeding you with her kids, and she gonna whoop you with her kids if you do something wrong. It was
Mhm.
that village mentality, but then I mean, it was single motherhood was around with our parents, but it wasn't like it is now. Not with our
It wasn't as
generation.
abundant.
But you know what? It turned into can't nobody tell me nothing. Ain't nobody gonna talk to my kid that way. It's all this, it just all this lack of accountability just came bubbling up where nobody can hold your children accountable. If can nobody spank your kids, talk to your kids, yell at your kids, hold them accountable, there will be no village because the village is afraid of you hauling off on them, hitting them, shooting, whatever, or them getting the police called on them for going off of your kids. So we destroyed the village ourselves with ego and bullshit.
I
And
say there's
obviously,
a
us
few
as
things. I
men,
feel
we
like
fucked
there's
it
a
up by not
program for
being
that.
around.
Like,
Men were, what's up?
I was saying, I feel like there's other forces that have forced our union apart. in that regard, as far as drugs in the community, as far as jailing blacks in the community, men in the community, as far as
Section 8 rules, stuff like
man,
that,
and then
forcing the father out the
once you got
household,
affordable
stuff like
housing,
that. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, because
affordable
what do you
housing,
need a
all
man
that.
for when you got a check coming that's gonna take care of you? Like it doesn't really take care of you, but at least you got financials. At least you can
like
control.
those food stamps that weren't around to take care of her kids in that video, in that skit.
Exactly.
You know, but the thing is,
how she run out of stamps? That's one thing I wondered if she did sell the stamps, because we be seeing that too. We be just like you said, the McDonald's on your fingertips. Shoot, them stamps was on her fingertips too. She went and sold them bad boys 50 cents on the dollar, and, and went and did the same thing to everybody, because she showed, she popped on that video. If it, let's say if this was a real life situation, this Lisa character, because we know there was a satirical skit, but Lisa popped her ass on with some brand new makeup and some lashes and all of that. So where the McDonald's go? Why you broke? You not, why you having it all of a sudden now, Lisa? You got the YouTube check already? It came that quick.
That Kickstarter did a thing.
Oh man.
But we see it though. We see that this happens, and we know. I know some mothers that can manage the home. And I know. Look, I know some women that have multiple baby daddies, and they some good women. I'm talking about women that are they realty, they business women, and they in management, and they in healthcare, and they upper management, and they doing real well for themselves, and they have multiple children and multiple children's fathers, and they make sure them babies don't want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's not to disparage all women that have multiple fathers for their children. It's some of the women that's doing very well for themselves, but there's another demographic that all they seem to be doing is busting it open, and then them the ones like Lisa in the video that are placing assault, that have a false sense of entitlement, where they feel supposed to do something for their kids because she busted open her legs, and they have to get into their heads that, yo, Lisa, baby girl, and girls like you, no man is no man is obligated to do nothing. It's a difference between obligation and being just a decent human being. See what I'm saying? A decent human being is gonna see some hungry babies and be like, damn, that's a baby right there, starving, can't eat. I'm gonna feed the kid because I'm not a soulless, heartless bastard. I'm gonna feed this child because I got a soul. But there's another type of man that's gonna say, damn, fuck them kids. Where my son at? I'm gonna feed my son and make sure my son eat. And that's just the reality of the world. So that's where the accountability comes in. She can't be selling the food stamps 50 cents on the dollar and then run around with the lashes and the microblades and all that, and the babies ain't got no goddamn chicken nuggets.
Well, bro, it's one of them situations of, in the skit, in the video, it was like he bringing food every day. So I mean, being a nice guy is cool, but that shit wears on you. If you're when you are somebody who's forced to take responsibility for somebody else's child procreation decisions, it's cool for a bit. Like, I'm being good, I'm helping out, but that shit wears on you. And at some point, you're just like, all right, no, look, no. You get over here, you take care of your responsibility. I've done more than my fair share. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. And it's just every single day, everybody, because I didn't go front. I was doing that. I had a relationship, and I would come through, and the girl would be like, "Oh yeah, my nephews are here," and I'm like, "All right, so I got to buy food for everybody then." Okay, like I didn't know they was coming, but now they're here, and apparently they're spending the night to play video games here. So now and this was in New York, by the way. So New York.
Oh, so everything is expensive out there.
Yes,
you get New York style pizza, it's gonna be, man. You know what my next question would have been, Chris?
Yeah.
What they gonna eat?
Hey, my nephew was here. I love you, baby. This, and this, and then I'm paying for the kids to eat, and I'm like, bruh, my money is leaving me quick. Even breakfast, McDonald's breakfast. I bought a McDonald's breakfast 2 days in a row, pizza, all that junk, and the thing I hated about, so there was something good that came out of this. I'm gonna get to it in a second, but one of the things I hate about the situation was, women they pulled out that old playbook and went to character assassination. Number one, if you don't got the money for all of them, just say you broke. Damn. And it's
Like,
no, it's just the
why you gotta be
principle.
broke if you don't want to?
Right.
That's little
But
dick energy. What the hell has this got to do with his dick?
man,
Like,
oh, this is little pocket energy. There's a difference, okay? All right, don't confuse my pockets with the size of my Johnson.
man.
If I get excited, I'll flip this motherfucking table over. Don't play with me, woman. I'm just
Man,
saying. I ain't saying that my Johnson's small. I'm just saying that my pocket's small right now.
man,
All right, don't mistake the two.
man, whether you got big bank, you just can't take too much disrespect. And honestly, after she threw the food, man, I'm like the thing. It was a visceral thing in me. I'm like, you don't even respect this man. You took the food that this man brought for your child, and you threw it on the floor in front of him. Now you saying, well, if you a man, you supposed to take care of blah 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 blah. If you're a woman, you're not supposed to disrespect me about these kids in the first place. He should have just went to Little Caesars and got him a $5 hot and ready. You know what I'm saying? No. Cut it in square. But I mean, honestly, you just go, you never had no respect for the homie anyway. Because he is showing up. You still giving ass to the man. And you do that to him. And you knowing he finna come back because he got a real sense of sense of duty to his child. So now he just a victim. Now he a victim of his love to you. Now we try to cover it up by going, well, the responsibility of a man has to be this, and we then go into does a man have feelings? Is a man supposed to have feelings? Because in that situation, if it had been flipped and she cooked a big old meal and I don't like this shit and threw it there, that's in all them Tyler Perry movies, man. That's in all the motherfucking movies about us. Black dark-skinned brother doing that, right? But now here we got a woman doing that to the homie, and we going, now he's supposed to still love her. He's still supposed to provide for her after all that shit. Like, I don't feel that. I don't see that. Like, I see that situation, and I try to empathize. I try to go, how do you make a situation better? It's like, yo, you killed yourself, homie. You played yourself because you're stuck. You with a girl who don't love you enough to even respect you. And don't respect what you're doing, even though every day he coming through. Okay, so you gonna disrespect the homie? Oh no, you don't think much of the homie. You know what I'm saying? So I go, that's the main part that really got me, because the rest of the stuff in there was just banter to me.
But you know what, bro? That's what was real. That's what felt so real to so many people. That's why we didn't question it, because we're so used to black men just being disrespected.
Man.
Just being standard protocol. Fuck them, man. We don't respect men, period. And you know, like it's a whole thing, but I'm sorry. I just want to get on to this one positive note before we wrap. I'm not saying we're gonna wrap exactly right now, but we're getting towards the end of this thing. I would just say the one positive thing that came from this was this situation let me know that there are plenty of women out there who see the bullshit and can call it out and recognize it. Because there were quite a few women that were like, no, that ain't his responsibility. This girl crazy, this, and this. Because I'm used to girl code, like y'all saying locked and chained together. Ain't nobody breaking the lines. Ain't nobody telling on each other. Ain't nobody calling each other out. And there were plenty of black women that was like, yeah, no, that was fucked up. No, I don't agree with her. And they were being vocal about it. And I just don't see it that often. And I'm glad that, people were able to be critical thinkers, think on their own, and not be about the group think and not be about the girl code or the sisterhood. It was, she tripping. And because I feel like with men, I don't think we have a problem with calling out brothers who's tripping. If we think a brother's tripping, no, man, that nigga tripping. This, and this. Like, fuck that. Like, no, I think Dave Chappelle is wrong. I think Roland Martin is wrong. I think Tavis Smiley is wrong. Like, we call out whoever we see ain't doing it right. We don't hold on a girl code and be like, no, well, I ain't gonna say nothing bad about no black man, no matter what he do. No, if I don't agree with it, I'm gonna speak the fuck up. But I've seen people speaking up, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because ladies, that let us know that y'all got some sense out here, and it isn't hopeless. Frankly, it's not hopeless. We can come together on some things. There are things we do agree on, and that's good. That's good. Because, you know, I mean, we just need to come together as a community, and this showed. And you know what's funny? What's crazy is it seems like it's not hard to get the community to show its guts and what is really happening.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't take a Kevin Samuels with millions of views to do it. It took this one girl from Milwaukee, made a video that was so preposterous, it just rang full of truth and poor treatment of men by some women drunk on power given to them by big white daddy in the government. Frankly, you know, so it's just a whole problem. But fellas, I thank you for joining. This was the first of many male-only, black male-only conversations we are gonna have. And, you know, we're going to keep talking. Dion, we're going to get into this tackling masculinity, maturing masculinity, evolving masculinity. We're going to get into that stuff because I'm really interested in that, John. You know, fellas, we're going to get into that another time. But thank you, everybody who watched this. There is a YouTube channel that I have created for this. It is called When They Hear Us. So I don't know if I don't know if you'll be able to find it on search because it's like I just created it today. So, you know, let us build up a library. But, you know, When They Hear Us, search that on YouTube, follow it. It doesn't have a profile picture or anything built up yet. But I am going to build this up because I do believe there needs to be more black male voices amplified on a lot of topics that's happening in the black community, a lot of topics just, you know, in the everyday news, because frankly, fellas, we're not being invited to the conversation.
Yeah.
We are not.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I appreciate you, man, for creating this platform and allowing me on the platform, man, to go ahead and just, you know, speak my truth, man, and, you know, entertain people and do what I do. But, you know, I like to entertain, but I also like to throw that truth in there, man, throw some facts. So I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, love a forum where we can all really discuss as men, and a place where we're not cursing each other out, where we can actually try to get to the root of these things, and maybe, you know, people can see it happen live, a solution that come out that maybe could change the way we treat each other, and that can make something positive happen between us all. And if not, at least we have a good conversation about it to where at the end of the day, we understand, because they always going to show us trying to kill each other. That's what that media is going to do. I love it when we got a forum like this where it's not some religious leader or somebody governed by some dogma, but just fellas in the mix discussing these real topics, just coming with that plain clothes. Man, this is what I feel. This is what my true thing is going to be. And we can take off the filter a little bit. Don't have to be so PG. Don't have to be so, you know, when you get around a lot of white folks trying to interview you, you know, you kind of feeling that glad, like, okay.
The job interview was coming on and say, well, basically, yeah, I thought, well, ultimately what I thought was going to happen was,
don't clutch your pearls. Don't clutch your pearls, fellas. But, you know, frankly,
you know,
if people don't know what black men think, now they do, because we're black men and we're speaking out.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
From white men, white women to black women, anybody who ain't us, if you don't know what we think, this is some opinion from black men. So, you know, we filling in the blanks. There's a lot of people who don't have proximity to us, especially men like us here on the show. We ain't in no foolishness. We just regular dudes, you know, living our lives. Now, I'm not married. I don't have no kids, but, you know, we have a wealth of experience right here, just with the three of us. You know, not in the parenthood area, but, you know, just in terms of being a black man in different situations, life experience. So, you know, we're going to bring that cool, mature, level-headed conversation to y'all again. And with that, you know, we out. We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah.